Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today at the Michigan Cannabis Industry Association on our cannacast. I am Ida Perley, the Deputy Director, and today I am joined with Jonathan Kello. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Beautiful office.
Yeah. I told you we had all day sun and now the sun went away.
Yeah.
So you're from Evo Pharms.
Correct.
What exactly is Evo Pharms?
So Evo Pharms is it's a processing facility.
Okay.
We're in Warren, just north of Detroit, and we specialize in hydrocarbon extracts.
And what does that mean?
Hydrocarbon extracts are we use butane and propane as solvents to extract the cannabinoids and the terpenes from plant material.
Okay.
So sometimes butane propane is a scary word, but they are organic matter. We're using organic matter to extract organic matter.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So, where did you go to school at?
I did my undergraduate degree at Open University.
Okay. And how did that transition you into the cannabis industry?
Oh, I didn't.
It didn't. Okay.
No, the two had no correlation.
No correlation.
Actually, I started off at Open University going for an engineering degree.
Okay.
Switched over to finance, and cannabis was just always there.
Okay.
Cannabis was there since the day I graduated high school.
All right. And you have a personal story with cannabis too, right?
Oh, yeah. So cannabis started out at a young age for me. I tried it for my first time when I was about 16.
Okay.
And I liked it. You know, it wasn't anything special. I remember being afraid at first because of what was drilled into my head,
right?
You know, growing up. But I had my first experience, and then when I turned about 18, graduated high school. This is around 2010. So the caregiver laws, just came into effect. I think back in like 2008, and decided to take a whack at growing cannabis.
Okay. Yeah. So because of you using it, you noticed the medicinal values of it.
Absolutely.
And so therefore you wanted to go into the caregiver market?
Yep. The caregiver market was, everything was brand new. So everything was a learning experience. So this was an opportunity to learn legally.
Okay.
That's the way we approached it.
Right. Now, your company is family oriented.
It is, yeah. We have 4 partners. My father is the licensee.
Okay. Now, were your parents on board with you smoking at 16?
No, they weren't on board at all. But they came along.
Okay.
You know, once they, I guess, I don't know. I guess they opened up to the idea that, hey, this is a natural plant.
Okay.
It's been around for a very long time. You know, maybe they admitted to themselves that they were brainwashed through the Reagan era. So after, you know, I don't know if they've ever experienced it or had an experience with it.
Okay.
But they definitely came around.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And now, so Evo Pharms is encompassed by your family. So your dad's the licensee, you said, and then who else is involved?
So my buddy of mine that I grew up with, actually I met him in the industry. Name's Mike. He's a partner there, and then we have another family member as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. So what did the journey into licensure look like for you? Do you know?
Yeah. So we were operating in the caregiver market for a very long time, since about 2010.
Okay.
And we always knew, you know, based on watching like California, that there was going to be a more legitimate route to cannabis coming soon. So I think it's the MMFLA.
Yep. MMFLA.
They passed their guidelines in, I think, 2018, and that's when we started the licensing process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
The journey, you know, I was a little hands off on the journey. My dad handled that mostly, so thankfully.
And about how long did it take? Do you know? Do you remember?
I want to say it took about a year.
Okay.
So it wasn't like fast, but a year worked out for us too. We needed to find a location.
Right.
We were still learning at the time too.
Okay. Do you have any advice for somebody who's wanting to get into the regulated market from the caregiver side?
Yeah, get a good attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So your attorney is the one who just step by step took you through the whole process.
Held their hand, A to Z.
Okay.
Great guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You got to always have somebody in your corner. That's really cool. Where did Evo Farms, the name, originate from?
So Evo Pharms started, I was having a powwow. Powwow is a meeting with joints going around.
Okay.
Well, that's at least my definition of a powwow.
Okay.
So we were hanging out, a couple buddies, and we were looking at extractions too. We said, wow, look where cannabis came. It came from this plant to people banging on a drum, making hash.
Mhm.
And then now we're using solvents and creating a whole new array of extracts. Look at the evolution of cannabis.
Right.
And so we took the word evolution, extrapolated to the first 3 letters, Evo, and said, hey, that's going to be our angle.
Okay. I love
Yeah,
that.
and we want to help evolve cannabis and the industry.
Right. Right. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Then that brings along with it so many different connotations as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. What, so you're a processor. So what exactly do you process?
So we process all cannabis.
Okay.
Specifically, we really want the THC and all the other cannabinoids that are on there. So when I say all cannabis, we're not necessarily extracting stems, leaves.
Mm-hmm.
We're still getting, the cannabinoids and the terps.
Okay.
We break it down into 2 categories. There's fresh frozen, which is frozen plants,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's dry cured,
Okay.
which is your trimmings or full nug.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What? How many products do you process? About how many?
So about 10.
Oh,
I would say
okay.
5 different products that are dry cured, 5
Okay.
different products that are live.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Definitely a healthy balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to process?
Fresh frozen.
And why?
So fresh frozen is a live plant
Okay.
that the cultivator, grew. We cut it down, or they cut it down, and froze it immediately,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to hanging, drying it, and letting all these natural terpenes evaporate away during the drying process.
Okay.
So because it was live, we retained all of that natural flavor that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
When we extract it, the natural flavor and terpenes come through as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
okay.
we're able to get, I would say, a more diverse product through fresh frozen as opposed to dry cured.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are some of the services that you offer?
So we create our own brands. We have our Gold Crown brand here.
Oh, this is your brand.
Mhm.
Okay. It's called Gold Crown.
Gold Crown.
How did you come up with that name?
Not exactly 100% sure.
Okay.
It was probably very much a powwow. Again.
Sounds like these are like synonymous.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty standard when you're in this industry.
Right. That's cool.
And we've had the name Gold Crown for about almost 7 years now. So we just stuck with it.
Okay. Yeah, it's working for you, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's a majority of what we do.
Okay.
We focus on our brand. Second part of what we do is white labeling and toll processing.
What's toll processing? I've never heard of that before.
Toll processing, an example would be a cultivator wants large bulk extracts.
Okay.
So they can send us their biomass, we'll convert it into extract for them, send it back to their facility, and then some licensees have the capabilities to package it themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alternatively to that, if we wanted to go a step further, we call it white labeling.
Mm-hmm.
White labeling can be very similar. They can send us their product. We will extract it into consumable,
Okay.
package it up for them in any way they want it done, and
Mm-hmm.
send it back to their facility.
Okay. What made you want to branch out and start white labeling for other brands?
Well, there's a lot of biomass
Okay.
on the market.
Okay.
We look at ourselves as servicers to the market.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't grow ourselves. We want to just service cultivators, and we found this as an angle to help a cultivator expand his brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're bringing your own expertise to your products as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. You're putting your own personal, stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about excuse me. Let me see if I can remediation.
Yeah.
Because I know that you have strong opinions.
Absolutely. So there's 2 different types of remediation. There's flower remediation, which most people are familiar with.
And what exactly does remediation mean?
remediation would be altering the natural state of the product in order to change its appearance, pass testing, or really anything that's altering what was naturally created anyway.
Okay.
That's at least my definition.
Okay. All right. And what does that process look like?
So in concentrates, the process is called color remediation.
Color remediation.
Yep.
Okay.
It's commonly referred to as CRC.
Okay.
Which can either be color remediation column or color remediation chromatography. Chromatography is just a fancy word for filtering.
Okay.
It is a bunch of different filters. Just to name a few, there's silica, diametrous earth, charcoal that you can run an extract through. It'll remove a lot of undesirables.
Oh, wow.
You can get rid of plant fats, lipids, chlorophyll, but you're also removing a lot of what was naturally there in the first place.
Exactly. And if you're wanting a full spectrum medicine, then remediation it's cutting all of that out.
Precisely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our Gold Crown brand specifically preaches against it. We don't do any type of remediation on any of our products.
Okay.
We actually even co-brand on our products who cultivated the product.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one here I brought is cultivated by Pure Mars.
Okay.
They're a greenhouse cultivator in Vassar. And beautiful terpene profile. I'm looking at the test results on the back too. It says 69.2% THC, 75.2% total.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things I like to show about that is the difference between THC and total cannabinoids is all of the other cannabinoids that are in there.
Oh,
so we want them all. I think there's 120 identified cannabinoids.
There's 120. I did not realize that.
Yeah, the ones we're most familiar with are THC, CBD.
Right.
And then there's CBG, CBN.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. There's so much we need to study.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's
yeah.
certain cannabinoids that might target something specifically.
Okay.
There's little research out about that. And there's more and more coming online.
Good. Yeah. Because I know there are certain strains that will help with certain types of cancers and other ones where you're told to avoid, that strain altogether. And again, it's just, to be able to trial, to drug trial these would just be amazing for patients.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's another variable that most people, I think, are starting to learn more about, and that's the terpenes aspect of it. So terpenes themselves aren't necessarily psychoactive.
Okay.
But they interact with the different cannabinoids to create different effects.
Okay. And we all have a cannabinoid system in our body.
Yes.
Yep.
Naturally created.
Right. So I kind of feel like when we're, ingesting cannabis, like in a way, it's like filling in those blanks of the cannabinoid system.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Like-minded minds.
Yes.
Nice. What's the difference between live resin and cured resin?
Well, it's actually right in the title of the word.
Okay.
So live resin comes from a live, fresh frozen plant where all the terpenes are still intact.
Okay.
Cured resin comes from dry cured cannabis plants where this plant was hung and dried.
Okay.
Probably every grower is different. I'd say from 7 days to 14 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's just that grower's preference as to how they want to do it?
No, not necessarily. I would say they create two different end products.
Okay.
So live products are going to have more terpenes.
Okay.
Probably a more diverse profile too. Cured products are generally stronger.
Okay.
Because there's a little bit less terpenes.
Right. Okay.
And there can be less plant matter, but this dry cured product had time to age as well.
Okay. What does that mean? Had time to age?
So like oxidation.
Yep.
All the cannabinoids will change over time.
Oh, interesting.
Just through natural sunlight, age, depending on what kind of environment it was stored in. So
okay, because I've heard like with flour, like you're supposed to keep it. That's why it comes in those, the cellophane bags that you can't see through. And if it comes in a glass jar, like you want to put it, like out of direct sunlight, like in your drawer or something.
Yeah. And one thing I tell a lot of people too, if you're not going to consume it for a long time, throw it in the freezer.
Oh,
absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Okay. I have heard of that before. Yeah. Nice. Okay. What's the best way to find your brand?
So our brand is sold all over Michigan.
Okay.
We service about 150 retailers at the moment.
Nice. Okay. Definitely, spreading out across the state.
I'd say we're more dominant east of Lansing than we are west.
Okay.
That's just because of where we are, geographically.
Right. Okay.
I think the best way to find our product is we have a direct link on our Instagram. I'm almost positive it'll take you straight to our Weed Maps link.
Okay.
I think everybody uses Weed Maps.
Yeah.
Do you guys use Weed Maps?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Weed Maps has a really cool interactive map. You can search by brand and find a retailer that carries our product.
Right. Yeah. It definitely makes it easier when you're looking for a specific product. Yes. Very true. What do you have any upcoming plans for 2022?
So for 2022, we have 2 new major projects coming in the works.
Okay.
The one I'm most excited about is solventless concentrates. So things like hash, rosin.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be really fun.
Okay.
And then we also are launching our full spectrum edible line.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And the major difference with our full spectrum edible line is we're not going to be using distillate. We'll be using either, we'll have 2, some with live concentrates and then some with cured concentrates.
Okay.
So our MO is full spectrum. We're not so focused on THC. We want those 120 other ones that I was talking about earlier.
Right.
I want them all.
Right.
And I think for the most part, the consumer does too. They might just not know it.
They just don't know it. And so how do we educate them?
So great question. We ask that question every single day.
Okay.
But some things we've been doing, we invite bud tenders from every facility, no matter where you are, who you are, into our facility.
Okay.
To come see how the process works.
Oh, I love that idea. It's giving them a bird's eye view, hands-on.
Yeah. So we think that the bud tender is the source of information for the consumer.
Okay.
I think that's true for 80% of the cases.
Right.
And so we want to bring them in, show them what exactly is going on, see it with your own eyes. Because they go on the internet and read, they might not know.
Right.
You'll read conflicting information left and right. So come learn firsthand.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Again, because it blew my mind when I found out, that consumers were comparing, the THC percent to alcohol percent. And I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So actually one of my favorite things to tell anybody that talks about THC percentages, best cannabis I ever smoked in my life tested at 18% THC.
Yes.
Not 30%.
Not 30%.
No,
Yeah.
But this was a while ago, so they weren't testing total cannabinoids then.
Right.
If they were, it was probably 18% THC, 23% total cannabinoids.
Right.
So that 5% of all that other stuff, that's what really made me feel good. And that's what worked with my system.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And that's why it's so important, for trial and error and to go slow, take your time, because again, you might find something that you absolutely love and then something that does not agree with you.
Absolutely.
There's some strains where I'll have hot flashes.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, I'm not smoking that again. Yeah.
Same here. I love the idea of start small, slow and low.
Right.
Or low and slow.
Low. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with adding more to your, dynamic than on the floor in a ball, not being able to, to get up.
Yes.
I mean, you want to have a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting. Yeah.
So you guys are all more than welcome to come by and tour our facility as well.
We would love to come by and tour. Yes. And I love that you open it up to the retailers, to the bud tenders. I don't know that I've heard of anybody doing that.
Yeah, we do private tours as well. So some retailers like to send out maybe a whole crew.
Oh, right.
But those are usually way more fun. We turn it into a whole event.
Yeah, a whole day of it.
Yeah, or we just do open invitations.
Okay.
Hey, we'll connect with the bud tender and they'll bring out a couple of their friends and come tour the facility.
Nice. You're up and coming. I love that.
Yeah.
Making changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool.
We have fun with it too.
I bet. Why? We have a question.
Have you ever been to the bud tender smoke sessions, or is that something you plan on hosting sometime in the future to kind of connect with the bud tenders and educate them on Gold Crown?
That's funny you say that. That was an idea brought forth probably 2 weeks ago. There's a new place in Hazel Park.
The Consumption Lounge, Hot
yeah,
Box.
Hot Box Social.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was there for an event a few weeks ago, and somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, why don't you do your bud tender education tours at our facility? They can try your product on site. We can bring forth whatever information necessary." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea."
That's a wonderful idea.
We're
Yeah.
gonna end up putting that in the works.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Let us know. Send us the graphic and we'll help advertise for that.
We'll do.
Yeah. That's really cool.
What other kind of feedback did you get from the event, like that Hot Box Social? Like, was it a lot, or was it just kind of like you guys need to have this?
Well, not a whole lot of feedback. I mean, it was kind of what we expected. So
Yeah, it was a really cool event.
great environment, great place to be. Anytime there's an event there, I'm pretty sure I'll be going.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What made you want to join the MiCIA?
So after licensing, we as a group, we felt it appropriate to join an organization that has aligned values. You know, power in groups, right?
Yep.
Especially, like I said, like-minded.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Well, and I know when you first came in, you know, we were talking about that too. And I had mentioned, you know, that all of our board members at one point in time were caregivers themselves.
Love that.
Yes. Yeah. And what they've done, you yourself, you know, being in the caregiver market, you in turn came into the regulated market. Yeah.
And that was always a goal. And,
Okay.
I think that's a good transition too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on all
Thank
your
you.
success and
Thank you.
your future endeavors. And it's exciting to, you know, see again, change being brought to our industry.
Absolutely.
It's so cool. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Question. Do users that put their extract in a refrigerator or freezer have a different experience from users that just put their concentrate like in a drawer or a non-refrigerated area?
I think it depends. Good question. Very good question. I think it depends on from the moment you purchase this product to the moment you consume it. So if you aren't going to consume it in a timely fashion, yeah, you'll retain more terpenes putting it in a refrigerator or freezer. So terpenes evaporate at any temperature. That's why you open up a bag of cannabis and it smells, because those terpenes evaporated, went inside your nose, and you smelled it.
Okay.
That's the same reason why you usually can't smell frozen weed, because it's too cold for this terpene to enter into the air.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So freezing them, that'll preserve the product much longer.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, we learned a lot today. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
Yes, there are other questions. For a consumer that goes into a dispensary and that typically goes, you know, for the cost-efficient purchase of concentrates, what's the first step to elevate their knowledge and find a product that's more tailored to them?
I would say what I try to tell every consumer is buy with your nose more than your eyes. So because of color remediation that goes on everywhere, and it's not illegal, but I just don't think it's understood enough. There's a distinct difference between color remediated concentrates and non-remediated concentrates.
What's the difference?
While what was naturally there is still there in a non-remediated concentrate.
Okay.
What was naturally grown is removed in a color remediated concentrate. And there's usually a like lemon or lime type smell, because those terpenes tend to come through the filter media much better.
Okay.
And it's a very generic smell.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I've seen beautiful concentrates before, and then, you know, open up the jar, put it to my nose, and I'm like, whoa, this does not smell like it should.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And that's just a massive turnoff for me.
Okay. And you were saying earlier too about the color. So if during the remediation, if it's white.
So there can be.
There can be. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to say that all
Okay.
white concentrates are remediated.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay.
But if you have a white concentrate
Mhm.
and it has that lemon and lime smell, you can
Right.
bet it's remediated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, remediation is just for them to be able to use that product.
Yeah. So the consumer, well, maybe not so much to use it, but I think
Well, for them to process it.
for them to process it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think the majority of consumers buy with their eyes.
Okay.
So they see something that has a very nice color, and
Mhm.
they say, "Oh, I want that." And I'm sure they did have a good experience, a high THC experience, but they missed out on all of the other stuff.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Well, and this is where it's so important to pay attention to your body and how you feel and all, because you're putting something into your body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually inhaling something
Exactly.
into our body. Maybe
Yeah.
we should pay attention to.
How we're feeling, how it
Yeah.
makes us feel.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for
today.
having me.
Yeah, I learned so much, and I hope everyone watching did too. I love having things explained to me, and because you look at certain things and you're like, well, wait a second, why is that color?
Yeah.
And, how did it get into this liquid?
Mhm.
So that's really cool.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you want to talk about real quick, or any shout outs you want to give?
There's some good growers out there. I'll tell you that. I think the clean cultivator
Mhm.
needs to be elevated a little bit more.
Okay.
That's something that we like to do with our co-branding on our Gold Crown packaging too.
I love that.
Yeah. So
Yes.
as of late, this is something new for us. Last year we didn't do this.
Okay.
This year we started highlighting who cultivated each one of our concentrates.
Mhm.
So we don't grow ourselves.
Right.
We source from growers all over the state.
Okay.
Anywhere from 15 to 20 different growers at a time.
Wow.
And it's actually my main role at the company is to source the biomass that we're going to extract. So I have a lot of fun driving around the whole state. I get to tour all the grows.
Right.
I get to see who's doing what.
Okay.
And some of these cultivators, they don't necessarily have a big name, but they have the best product.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see the market and who thrives and who doesn't,
Mhm.
and for what reasons.
Right.
So we're all students. We're learning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. Sharing the knowledge.
Yep. That's it.
Now, real quick too, before we go, you were
Mhm.
telling me your favorite flower comes from greenhouses.
Yeah.
Why?
So my favorite flower to extract comes from greenhouses.
Okay. Okay.
And main reason for that is the sun is going to produce a more diverse terpene profile, maybe even a stronger terpene profile
Mhm.
than high pressure sodium or LED lights can.
Okay. So you're definitely on the front line seeing the differences in the flower that's coming in.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If I extract greenhouse cannabis compared to indoor cannabis, we'll guaranteed see a higher terpene profile in the greenhouse cannabis than we will from the indoor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is something to that sun.
Yeah, the sun. I mean, hey, this is where nature thrives,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
This plant grew outdoors for millions of years, and now all of a sudden, the last 30 years, we've been growing it indoors.
Right. Yeah. Sunlight is energy. I mean, there's no disputing that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yay. Well, thank you so much again for coming in.
Thanks
and
again.
Yeah, we appreciate you, and we'll see you at the summer annual.
That's right.
Yes. Is this your first one?
This will. Yeah, I missed the
Okay.
one last year.
Okay. Well, hey, you're in for a
Yeah.
treat this year.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Definitely looking forward to golf.
The golf. Yeah. Oh, well, and if your wife wants to come, if she doesn't golf, we have a tea party.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Yes. Love Anquinet's tea parties.
We'll do.
All right. Well, we are going to switch over to our ancillary shout out. Today it's with AeroPay. They are a payment processing. If you're interested, reach out to them.
Fast, secure, and fully cannabis compliant. AeroPay allows you to pay for online and delivery orders. At checkout, choose the option to link your bank account to pay. Signing up is simple. At AeroPay, we ask for only enough information to keep you and your payments safe. Now, instantly link your bank account to your new AeroPay profile. AeroPay removes limits created by cash on hand or stuck in couch cushions. With AeroPay, you don't have to run out to the ATM, and there's no cash exchange at the door. Plus, you can tip your delivery driver. Just confirm the payment with a dynamic checkmark, and you'll be on your way. It's the same process in store. Just start it off by scanning the QR code. Sign up and add your bank account. And if you've already done that at home, just pay, add your optional tip, and confirm the payment. AeroPay, giving you the freedom
do this
to
one too.
spend.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. That is our podcast, and we hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, and join us next week with Grow Haven.